Hello parents, guardians, and all stakeholders, and everyone who works with children. Today's lesson comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 1 to 4. In this text, Moses was repeating to the children of Israel God's commandments on how they were to live in Canaan, the promised land, when they got there. Because in Deuteronomy we find that they were on their way to the promised land. So Moses gave them one commandment, which is the greatest commandment, God's greatest commandment, which is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. And then Moses continued, as the word of God tells us in Deuteronomy 6, verses 1 to 9. He continued to tell them, then teach this commandment diligently to your children. Teach your children to love the Lord as their God, and to love God with all their heart, with all their soul, with all their strength. Teach them to follow his commands. And this is the first and the greatest commandment, to love God with all our heart, all our soul, all our strength, and even all our mind, all our lives. So parents, from this text, we've been commanded to teach our children to love the Lord as their God with all their heart, all their soul, all their strength. But before we teach them, parents, we ourselves have been commanded from the Word of God to love the Lord our God with all our heart, all our soul, all our strength, all our mind, all our lives. So when we teach our children to love the Lord as their God and to love him with all their heart, all their soul, all their strength throughout their lives, then this generation of our children will know God, they will love God, they will obey his commands, they will obey his word, and they will then teach their children after them to love God with all their heart, all their soul, all their strength. This generation will then serve the Lord and make the Lord known. This can only happen through Jesus Christ, because when we teach